The people are waking up. A red pill surge across the nation as people everywhere are finally saying enough is enough. A Florida sheriff says he will deputize every lawful gun owner in his county to help confront the lawlessness from violent protests that his deputies can't handle alone. Hello everyone, this is Mr. Obvious, and today on the internet, we've got a collection of stories to talk about. The Florida sheriff who's going to deputize lawful gun owners. Donald Trump declares BLM a hate symbol. And Seattle is finally taking back CHOP. But the overall theme here is that it seems like, at least in some part of this country, there is a surge of red pills. Now, if you don't know what that means, it's very simple. The red pill is a reference to the Matrix movie, where Morpheus offers Neo a blue pill or a red pill. If he takes the blue pill, he can go back to sleep and live life of blissful ignorance. But if he takes the red pill, he's gonna get the truth and nothing more. And once you learn the truth, we'll see how deep that rabbit hole goes. It's that simple. People seem to be rising up against the chaos, against the lawlessness, and against this left-wing insanity that we've come to see in this country. Now we're going to talk about all of this and more, but before we do, if you're new to the channel, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And hit the bell button for notifications for more content. And if you like this video, please consider giving it a share. The summer is starting to get hot, but do you have any new hot summer clothes? Why not the Deus Volt Night Classic t-shirt? Available in over 16 colors and various designs. This t-shirt features a powerful knight standing upon the battlefield. Take back the Holy Land. Link down below in the description. So a Florida sheriff says he will deputize every lawful gun owner in his county to put down any violent protests his deputies can't handle alone. Now, why I really like this story is because lately we've seen a lot of protests that turn into riots, that turn into looting, that turn into beating people in the street. People have been shot, actually. So groups like ANTIFA and BLM have been out there in these protests and attacking people. Just the other day, we saw in Chaz, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, black teenagers were shot by BLM. I've recently been talking about this, but BLM is not a peaceful group. Not by any means. And what do you know? Donald J. Trump has declared that BLM is a hate symbol. Now, I always bring up the fact that BLM was declared a terror organization in Russia in 2016. And I'm starting to wonder, now that Antifa has been officially designated as a terror group by the United States government, maybe it's time to expand this to BLM. Here you can see Donald J. Trump on Twitter. New York City is cutting police paychecks by $1 billion. And yet the @NYC mayor is going to paint a big, expensive, yellow Black Lives Matter sign on 5th Avenue, denigrating this luxury avenue. This will further antagonize New York's finest, who love New York and vividly remember the horrible BLM chant. He goes on to say, quote, "Pigs in a blanket, fry 'em like bacon," end quote. Maybe our great police, who have been neutralized and scorned by the mayor who hates and disrespects them, won't let this symbol of hate be affixed to New York's greatest street. Spend this money fighting crime instead. So there you have it, folks. The President of the United States has declared that BLM is a hate symbol. And I have to agree. We've seen in the recent days that BLM doesn't care about the African American community. BLM doesn't care about black people. BLM has shot black people, looted from black people, burned down black-owned businesses, and they've been hurting everybody. That's not something that a group that cares about justice does. That's something a gang of cultural Marxists and revolutionaries does, and opportunistic criminals. So the Seattle area is being cleared out, finally, as the mayor finally declares an executive order after saying that CHOP, the Capitol Hill organized protest, was a summer of love. Here you can see her eating her own words as she deploys the police. You can see them here. They're armed with sticks. Sticks of all things. Is this the world you guys want to live in? Where the cops have a stick?
Hands up! Give me your money!
I've got a gun. No, sir, please don't rob me. I'm gonna call the cops. Officer, right there, right here. I'm being mugged. Sir, put down the weapon. I have a stick. Blang, blang. Officer down! Officer down! Yeah, that's not gonna end well. But here you can see the police on bicycles. Oh my god. You know, I really don't want to see the American police become like the British police, right? Riding around on their little tricycles, honking their tiny little horns. Those aren't real horns. That's a real horn. But you can see their armored vehicle here. I assume some of them have weapons. It would be very foolish of them to not, but you can see personnel clearing out the Chaz area. Finally, even the Democrat mayor is being forced to admit that Chaz was an absolute disaster. It's a blemish on a record. It's a blemish on Seattle. And this whole experiment of the autonomous zone of left-wing ideology creating its own government was an absolute failure. 31 people have been arrested. And it's in this surge, this surge of red pilling, that I feel a little bit of hope. Now, I want to show you a recent clip from the Tim Pool podcast, where this complete liberal normie seems to be waking up. And this is a guy who I've seen time and time again. Well, I don't want to be mean, but not exactly a strong right-wing male. But let's watch.
We've learned from our history and gotten to here. So now you want to destroy all that history and all these people. I personally, just talking about myself, I'm pissed.
Me too.
I don't like it. I'm voting for Trump. I'm okay with it. I'm talking about it. Like, I'll openly say it. Like, yeah, I am. I think he is doing a lot of things that I didn't understand, and I didn't like him before. But now, over the past 4 or 5 months, how long have we been doing this show?
Month 6.
I am immersing myself in what is going on in the world, and I see it. I'm not an idiot. I'm a logical-based person. I follow the logic. I follow, what's actually happening, and I think he's doing a lot of things that we need to had happen.
So you can see that this guy is completely and utterly waking up, and this is one of Tim Pool's left-wing liberal friends, beanie wearing, hippie-ish, everything. And yet he's surrounding himself in this podcast, in the news, and every day he's learning about these red pills. He's paying attention. His eyes are open. His brain is working. The wheels are turning. And what do you know? He wakes up. He realizes, you know what? They lied to me. Trump is actually doing the right thing. I'm going to vote Trump. I do not feel shame. I admit it. And then look what he says next.
Democrats work with China. It's like, that scares me. I am frightened of China. They clearly want to control the world. And we've learned from our history and gotten...
People are waking up, and it gives me hope. So back to the Florida story and the sheriff who wants to deputize all law-abiding gun owners, perhaps the biggest red pill of the day. So a Clay County Sheriff, Daryl Daniels, released a 3-minute video Wednesday warning protesters to stay away from his suburban Jacksonville County. Because violence has followed so many demonstrations in the U.S., Daniels also said he would protect any peaceful protesters, but added that if anyone starts tearing up Clay County, this is not going to be acceptable. If we can't handle you, I'll exercise the power and authority as a sheriff, and I'll make special deputies of every lawful gun owner in the county, and I'll deputize them to this one purpose: to stand in the gap between lawlessness and civility, said Daniels, sporting a white cowboy hat as he stood in front of 18 deputies. Now, I want to make it clear, this based sheriff is also black. So what is BLM going to do? I think once again they're going to prove that they do not care about black lives, because if they did, maybe they would listen to the black sheriff. But we'll just have to see. We'll have to see if these people try to overrun Florida and cause more mayhem, as they clearly have been and clearly are.
Look, folks, don't fall victim to this conversation that law enforcement is bad, that law enforcement is the enemy of the citizens that we're sworn to protect and serve. We swore an oath. And in that oath, support, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the government. I just wanted to take a stand with these men and with these women who feel the same way that I do. Lawlessness, that's unacceptable in this country. And if you threaten to come to Clay County and think that for 1 second that we'll bend our backs for you, you're sadly mistaken. I know what happens when lawlessness prevails. And in this day and time, God is raising up men and women, just like the folks you see standing behind me, who will have strong backbones and will stand in the gap between lawlessness and the good citizenry that we're sworn to protect and serve.
Epic. Truly epic. So we're beginning to see a big pushback in America. And I've been touching on this lately, the red pilling of America. And I feel like we're slowly moving towards a new reality, a new paradigm. Now, I know that the left-wing mind virus seems to be expanding. The left-wing cancer seems to be growing. They've become so extreme. They're burning things, attacking people, saying insane things on the media, and getting away with it every single day. Trying to strip away our rights and pushing for all of this war and all of this revolution and pushing for the complete collapse of America. But at the same time, I feel like more and more people are waking up. Victor Reese says, "I like it. Time to shut down the commie scum." Revenge Goody says, "We need a sheriff like that in Los Angeles, County, California. If we had illegal concealed carry permits given freely, there'd be no riot in Melrose Avenue." But you know what, my friends? That's pretty much the story. You know, it's really hard to see change when you're in it. I was recently thinking about all the progress I've made on my channel, because a lot of times it seems like I'm not getting anywhere. You know, I never had help from anybody. I never had help from Reddit. I never had help from a bigger YouTuber. There was really nothing there that ever really gave me a turbo boost. The only thing I've ever had was the algorithm and my viewers. And these days, I pretty much just have my own viewers. But I look back and I see that I've made considerable progress. The quality of my videos has gone up dramatically. And while it doesn't always feel like the change has been significant, looking back, there's definitely been a big change. And maybe that's what we're seeing in real life. It's really hard to see this change, to see this red pill surge that's sweeping across the nation, because we're also seeing the left-wing surge appearing, trying to smother everything, trying to take over. People are being banned from the internet. Free speech is being violated. People's rights are being trampled. You have left-wing vigilantes and criminals on the streets spreading terror, spreading chaos, and hurting people. But at the same time, you have people with eyes, ears, and brains who are looking at our chaos and waking up. Maybe it took something more extreme to wake them up. But all that matters is that they become awake. I'm not talking about the woke, because the woke folks took the blue pill. And maybe, just maybe, other people are taking the red pill. But that, my friends, is merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. What do you think about this story? I think it's important, and I hope that we see more of this change. You know, an avalanche doesn't happen all at once. Avalanches happen after a single snowflake lands on the mountainside, and it's finally too heavy, and there's a tipping point, and then the avalanche happens from something so small, something as small as one little snowflake making the snow too heavy and making the snow avalanche off the mountain. If enough people know the truth, if enough people wake up and take the red pill, then, my friends, you're going to see an avalanche of movement, an avalanche of change. And maybe you won't realize it at the time, but you will have been a part of something truly big and truly magnificent. But let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Now, if you want to support the work I do, you can join me on Patreon or Subscribestar. If you want to donate, there's Donorbox and Bitcoin. Links are down below. And of course, if you like this video, please consider sharing it on social media. I'm aware these days, a bunch of places online have been censored and banned. The Donald was banned. Right-wing subreddits have been banned. Wherever you can share this content, please do. And also consider checking out my merch store. I have two beautiful designs. One was featured earlier in this video, but there are more. There are more options to pick from. Maybe you want a hoodie, maybe you want stickers. All that's available at the merch store. Anyhow, thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Obvious, and I'll see you all next time.